guys, welcome to another episode of Punch Me in the Face. I am in the best studio I've ever been in because it's not my studio. It's my buddy's studio, friend of mine, somebody I've learned a lot from. And I was like, hey, can we do a podcast? He's like, sure. And I'm like, good, I'm coming to your place because yours is better than mine. So, Brad Lea, how we doing, buddy?
Good, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you getting on, man. I love you for getting on. This is one of the first podcasts I ever got on was yours. And a bunch of people were talking about what you do. And I'll be honest with you, for me, I had made a decision about 15 years ago when I got in the insurance business. I was like, dude, people are like, do you know this guy? You know that guy? You know this guy? And I'm like, dude, I'm just like, I put my head down. I'm not paying attention to anything. Like, I'm not that good. I found something I'm good at. And then I cut everything else out of my life except for my 2 kids and did that. And my buddy's like, you got to check out Brad Lea's stuff. And I was like, I don't know who he is because I don't know who anybody is. And God, this might have been 4 years ago or something. And I started watching him. I'm like, I like that cat because he's honest. He's a psycho. And I like people that are crazy. And I liked your position on things. So I really appreciate you getting on today.
My pleasure.
It means a ton to me. So let me tell you what I want to accomplish today. Okay. We had a lot of people that get on. And my goal is to help people out there listening to us. Most of the folks that listen to the podcast, most folks that message me, most of the folks we contact are trying to find a different way to do something. Whether they're trying to get a second job, third job, one good job, whether they're trying to get better at their current job. But most people I talk to are frustrated. And I'm like, what are you frustrated at? They're like, I can't have the things I want for my family. I can't live the life I want. I don't have freedom. You've built obviously many businesses. I've gotten to know quite a bit about what you're doing. But for everybody on here that hasn't heard of you, which most I'm sure everybody has, but if you live under some kind of rock somewhere, talk to us about Brad Lea and like your entrepreneurial journey, where that started and where you are now, if you don't mind, because I have a lot of questions for you.
Well, it's been a while. I'm an old dog.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know how long this episode is, but
as long as you want, Brad.
At the end of the day, I'm an entrepreneur by the truest sense of the word, because if you look up the definition of entrepreneur, it's someone who takes larger than normal financial risks, especially in business. And that's what I do, and that's what I've always done, mainly because I don't like working for people. Mm-hmm. I don't like being told what to do. I got kicked out of my house at 16 because he told me to mow the lawn, and I didn't, basically. So I've been out on my own since I was little, and I just don't like being told what to do. Someone asked me the other day, did you hire a trainer? You're getting in shape. I said, no. They go, why don't you just hire a trainer? I said, I don't like being told what to do. But at the end of the day, man, I'm an entrepreneur. I've recently in the last couple of years become somewhat of a influencer on social media. That's what they call them. But I'm not really an influencer. I'm a businessman, entrepreneur. But I am getting quite a few followers because I think people are looking for authenticity. And I like you just said, I like to just keep it real and tell the truth and, not beat around the bush. So if you look me up, you're going to say, oh, he owns businesses and, but ultimately, man, that's it. I'm a business owner. I have several businesses, some that people wouldn't even have an idea, like my RV dealerships. And,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. A lot of people, I mean, I have businesses, but I like to start businesses, even though I'm learning now, it's better to buy them. So actually, I'm looking into 2024 to start buying companies rather than trying to start them from scratch. It's much easier to buy one that exists.
So you knew you didn't want a job. What was your first business that you opened that was yours? You started it, you launched it, your money, your time was the very first business you launched.
Well, it's no longer in existence. Like I tried to start a bunch of businesses. Yeah. One of them was a fire retardant company called Armor Shield, because I saw this liquid that if you sprayed on a piece of paper or anything, you couldn't light it on fire. And I'm like, dude, why isn't that on houses? Why isn't that on Christmas trees? Why isn't that everywhere? And then there was this gas. I forget what, I think it's called, I forget what it's called, but you would open up this thing, and if there was a fire there, you'd go like this, and all of a sudden the fire would extinguish because this stuff took out all the oxygen. And I'm like, man, these things this is unbelievable. I'm going to start a business. I called it Armor Shield, and I thought everyone in the world was going to buy it. That didn't work. Another one was I went around to all the different, I think my first one was I went around to all the businesses, and instead of convincing them to give me a 2-for-1 or whatever kind of coupon, I wanted an actual free product, and I closed businesses to give me things. So hamburgers, oil changes, dog washes, like anything and everything.
Okay.
And I put together this book.
Your own coupon book.
It was a coupon book. We called it Magic Money. And literally there was $2,200 worth of absolutely free. It wasn't buy one, get one, 20% off. You walk in there, rip out the coupon, boom. You got whatever it was for free. And I'd close the business on, dude, when they come in, upsell French fries. And, you know, you can upsell them. If you can't, dude, you know, you got a problem. So literally I talked people out of giving me just free stuff. Well, I went out and I thought everyone in the world would buy those. And I thought every soccer association and Cub Scout in the world would go sell those to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Bust. Nobody would buy them. And it was the craziest shit too, because one time I went to a swap meet thinking, I know what I'll do. I'll go to the swap meet and I'll put up a table and I'll show people that there's $2,200 in here and I'll sell it for $20. Best deal at the swap meet. First, I had to rent the slot for 3 days. Friday, don't sell anything. I can't believe, and I'm a good salesman, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's buying these things. And I'm telling people, and they're like, oh, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks. So my very last day, I was going to be there anyway. I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go home and grab all the crap in my garage that I don't want, that stores up, and I'm going to bring that shit down here. A baby bassinet, a stuffed animal with a hole in it. You know those cement weights that would crack and there'd be cement inside of them? Do. Those answering machines that didn't frickin' work. Tennis rackets with no strings. I'm telling you, garbage, dude. And I brought it down to the swap meet and I sold out of all the garbage. And at the end, all that were left were my Magic Money fun packs. And I said, shit, this is dumb. So I basically scrapped that business. So, I mean, there was a lot of businesses that I started and it didn't work.
You know, why, what is your advice? Because you've done it, right? I see a lot of people that I think are really talented. Like when I got into real estate, there was a lot of guys that got into real estate when I got in 2000. Everybody was getting a real estate license. All my friends, we were building houses. One guy was already doing excavation, and we all started. And then it got harder as we got closer to like 08, 09. And I watched people quit on what they were doing, even though they had a lot of success. And I was always like, dude, they know more than I do. Like, they can operate the machines. They can pour the concrete. They've been doing it longer, and they would just quit. And I'm like, well, if I just keep moving, I'm gonna be all right. What is it about people you see or meet or that follow you, that talk to you? What the hell, if you could reach inside them and change one freaking thing? Like, obviously you didn't give up on yourself.
Correct.
Your mommy and daddy didn't tell you not to give up on yourself. You were out on your own at 16. There was nobody like saying, Brad, please, and I love you so much. What is it that you have, and what is it that other people aren't accessing inside themselves? Why do they fucking quit?
In my mind, I would attribute it to self-worth.
Okay.
Personally.
So your self-worth.
They called it conceit for a long time. Okay. Now they call it confidence. But at the end of the day, dude, I think I'm worth more. You know, I don't believe you can outperform your own self-image. And when I see people quit and give up on themselves and give up on their dreams and you know, it's because ultimately deep down they don't think they're worth it. They don't think they're capable. Their confidence is gone and their ultimately self-worth is low. That's what I think. Because otherwise, why would they quit?
Correct.
And sometimes you should quit. I'm glad I quit Magic Money Fun Packs. Dude, I gave it my all. And listen, there's a lot of people say, well, you never quit. Now, true, if I'd have kept going, maybe I would have been a big, huge coupon guy. Sold for $1 billion. You never know. But I quit and I'm still successful. Why? Correct. Because I value my abilities. I know that I'm capable. And I always kind of have thought that. You know, again, they used to call it conceit. People say, you're so conceited. And I didn't really know what they meant, but I know what they meant now. It's because I had confidence and they didn't. And a lot of times, dude, you hang around the wrong people and they're going to pull you back just mentally. You know, if it's not you with the negative self-talk, it's the people that are around you. And eventually, dude, most people, you know, succumb to that nonsense. I don't. So if someone's out there giving up and, you know, constantly starting over and they just can't figure it out, I would say quit looking outside and externally and start looking internally. Like, go look in the mirror and start to to repair the relationship you have with yourself to where you raise your self-worth. And if you raise your self-worth, believe it or not, your net worth follows.
I believe it. So and I like what you said, because we had this discussion one day about humility, and you're like, no, I ain't trying to be humble. Like, I understand what you're talking about. We were going back and forth on confidence and self-worth and conceit. And outside of the network people have, because if you were to ask me, take all the people you know that have the best self-image. Dude, some of them grew up in really good families. Some of them grew up on their own. Some were drug addicts. Some never did anything wrong in their lives that we know about. Like, it's this huge array of people outside of the network they hang out with. For all the people listening, and they're like, dude, I hear you, Brad. I wish I had your confidence. I want to have confidence. Okay, I'm not going to hang out with these other people. What else can somebody do to help build their self-image, their self-worth, in your opinion?
Well, number one, I mean, in my mind, confidence is the memory of winning. So if you win a lot, you're going to become more confident at whatever it is you do. So I would say, start racking up wins, and the crazy part is we get to decide what a win is. You don't get to decide for me what a win is. See, now again, because I have that self-worth, I realize, dude, I don't need your validation. I can validate myself. So a lot of people can't. They need you to approve what they think and what they, is winning, brushing my teeth, Sean. And when you go, anyone can brush their teeth, dude. It needs to be different. Oh, okay, let me think of something else. I don't do that. I say, listen, I decide what a win is, and I decide things that are easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, some people will be like, what do you mean? Well, like brushing my teeth. Every time I brush my teeth in the morning and at night, I think to myself, that's a win. And it is a win. To me, drinking water as opposed to soda or alcohol, that's a win, brother. Every time I drink water, in my mind, I am registering a win. Making one more phone call before you go home, meeting one more person, walking one more minute on a treadmill, eating one less French fry. I just make it consciously aware that I need to win all day long. And literally, I just start racking up the wins all day long. I wake up winning. I freaking, by lunch, I've already kicked ass all damn day long. And I'm a winner. And I win all the time. And it's like crazy. So all of a sudden, you start to feel a little bit more deserving. You start to feel a little bit more capable because of that memory. And then what happens to most people is everyone will start looking at you weird. Who do you think you are, bro? What do you think, you're a hot shot now? And it's not always mean like that either. Some people that love you, they're saying, hey, listen, what are you doing, man? This requires a long time, hard work. Don't believe that nonsense. Would you hear somebody on social media and now you think you're going to be rich? So they get talked out of it, basically. So I would say this: if you want to increase your confidence and your self-worth, number one, forgive yourself from all the past nonsense, because believe it or not, it's okay. Everyone can get a second chance. You got to forgive yourself and apologize to yourself. Most people don't do that. Have you ever apologized to yourself?
Not that I'm aware of or remember doing. Nope.
Again, dude,
and I'm hard on myself, and I've never apologized to myself.
We're the hardest on ourselves.
Amen.
And some people will say, well, that's how you got to be. In a way, yes, but subconsciously, if we don't think we're worth anything, and it's usually subconsciously that we don't feel this way. You ask somebody, you don't like yourself? If I can like myself, fine. What is he talking about? It's subconscious. And that word, sub, below, conscious, aware, subconsciously, below our awareness, we don't like ourselves. Why? Because we lied and we cheated and we stole and we freaking procrastinated and we sinned and all the crap that we hear. And growing up, our belief system says you're a piece of shit, bro. And so we protect that by burying it. And next thing you know, we don't really feel like we're worth anything. It's subconscious. So every choice we make will keep us down because we don't deserve that success. We don't deserve that relationship. I don't deserve more money. To fix that, just like any relationship, what you want to do is you want to apologize to yourself for letting yourself down, letting yourself become this way. And of course, forgive yourself. So that's step one. Step two is you want to literally commit to do what you say you're going to do from that point forward. Because when you say you're going to do something and you don't, that chips away at your self-worth. So you have to commit to do what you say you're going to do. And there's a lot of people that get anxiety when they hear that because they know themselves. They know they're full of shit.
Right.
Okay, to stop being full of shit is a decision, dude. You decide to.
Correct.
Well, what's the secret? Make a decision, bro. You know what decision means actually? To kill off. Decide, like suicide. Decide is to kill off any other option. Decide. You decide to do what you say you're going to do. It's a decision, and then you do it. And then 3, rack up those wins. And then 4, get rid of all the negativity, including your own. And then 5, visualize and map out and literally visualize what success is for you, not for everybody around you. What do you really think success looks like is how you're going to find it if you don't know what it looks like. And you visualize it every day. You feel as if it's already there. You become grateful for everything that you want, technically, because you're going to act as if you already have it. It's already coming, man. It's a done deal, bro. There's no question. And I'm thankful because I have it, even though I don't.
Correct.
So you want to lie to yourself? Dude, call it whatever the hell you want. I call it visualization.
Yeah.
And there's, quantum physics that have been studied that will prove that there's different freaking realms, bro. Here's one way to know that there's a different realm. Do you have a mind?
Yeah, sure do.
Does everybody have a mind?
Yep.
How much does it weigh?
No idea.
What temperature is it?
No clue.
How big is it?
No idea.
Can you touch it, feel it,
No.
open up someone's head and find it?
No.
But we all agree that it exists.
100%.
Okay, so what realm is that in?
Yeah.
So you got to understand, you have to map out and visualize exactly what success looks like so you know exactly what you're doing. So day to day you can make good decisions because it boils down to the decisions you're making. And poor decisions don't lead you to riches. I always say you can't get rich making poor decisions. So you have to figure out what it looks like. So every day you're making decisions and your decisions start becoming better and better. And pretty soon you're a damn good decision maker. And dude, the rest follows. But if I don't know what it looks like, how do I know? So I say map out and visualize what success looks like. And then every day just ask yourself for every choice that's about to come your way. And there's a bunch of them. Not necessarily big either. These are little choices. But if you make the little choices well, there are no big, huge, life-changing choices you got to worry about. They'll take care of themselves because it's the little choices that usually cause the big, life-changing choices you have to make because you made a bunch of dumb little ones. Now you got a big one to deal with. Just make good choices all day long, and you ask yourself, does this move me towards or away, whatever it is you consider successful? And if you just start making decisions that move you towards your success, your goals, your vision every day, that becomes a habit. And then, your habits start to be formed and you're just doing good, smart shit every day. And then the result is you start succeeding. And then again, it all compiles and it's, like cyclical, meaning you start to stall up, you start to stand up taller, you start to feel better. Then you got to get rid of parents because they're talking shit. They're negative. It's not something you did. It's something you do. It's how you live. And then the last one, and this is maybe one of the most important ones, but I think they're all collectively required. You pick up a book or you get new information at least. Seek new information every day because your brain is a computer. And the more information you put in it, the more intelligent and powerful it is. And so what you allow into your head matters, right? So I'm seeking new information every day because I realize the reason I don't have what I want is because I don't know something or someone. You will have everything you want in life if you knew the right information and knew the right people. Period. If you don't have what you want in life or everything, because I have what I want, but I want more. So I need to learn something else or I need to meet someone else. So I'm always out there building relationships, which is crucial, especially the one that this builds. It's the one you have with yourself. But seeking new information allows you to basically change your beliefs. Because if you break it down to simplicity, the reason you're getting what you're getting because you're doing what you're doing. The reason you're doing what you're doing is because you believe what you believe. And it doesn't make it true just because you believe it. But it is why you do what you do. So the only way to change someone's behavior is to change someone's belief. And the only way to change a belief is to get new information. Because if you never get new information, your beliefs will never change. Mm-hmm. If you take a kid and say, hey, fire doesn't burn from since they're a baby, they will eventually walk up to the fire. They have no fear of it because they believe you, and they'll reach into it. And once it burns them and they get that new information, even though you're their dad, they're not believing you anymore because that new information was so powerful. Correct. They change their belief immediately. And it's the only way to actually change your belief. So you get new information on a regular basis. You get smarter. You start to actually think. You start to actually realize and realize, hey, dude, I have an opinion. Hey, I know a little bit more than this guy does. Why? Well, I've been reading, and this guy's an idiot. He's at the bar drinking. He's smoking weed. He's playing Call of Duty, which I did for years. Yeah. Still play a little Call of Duty now and again. But if you forgive yourself and apologize, you freaking commit to do what you say you're going to do. You start racking up wins on a regular basis. You get rid of all the negativity, including your own. You freaking figure out what that exactly looks like and choose things that push you that direction. I mean, you're either going backwards or forwards. I mean, it's not hard to figure out. Correct. And then 6, you get new information on a regular basis, which causes you to think, and then you start to freaking change, man. And next thing you know, dude, you're going to be walking around a lot more confidently. Mm-hmm. You're going to feel like you're worth more. And the only way to ruin it is to allow any of those elements to start sliding. Because again, I mean, some people get confident and then something happens to them and now all of a sudden they lose their confidence. Why? Well, I was rich and I had it all and then I lost it. Oh. Dude, so what?
Yeah, correct.
I've lost it a million times. Mm-hmm. I'm not afraid of losing it. Okay. If I lose it, I've got the God-given ability to get it again. What's the big problem? Mm-hmm. So again, I'm also not afraid to lose. Other people seem to fear the, embarrassment of loss. And, my parents are going to freaking laugh at me. And I don't have that. By the way, you know what that's called? Allodoxophobia. It's the fear of other people's opinion. I don't have that. I'm not afraid to lose.
So, well, that was a lot, by the way, and it was really, really freaking good. Couple things that hit me because not being full of shit, committing to things you're actually going to do. And I think that's a struggle for a lot of people that I meet and I talk to is they're trying to be something they're not at all. And why would you not just be who you are? Like I've never woken up one day and been like, dude, I have a 6-pack. Because eventually I'll take my shirt off. And you'll know what? You'll know I don't have a 6-pack. Like I've never said I'm doing something I'm not doing. It's like, no, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to. Here's what I suck at, by the way, too. Because I'm not full of shit if I go, hey, Brad, I suck at these 3 things right here. You can ask me advice if you want, but I'm actually really bad at those things. And I'm not committed. Maybe I should get better or not. I don't really give a shit about your opinion, to your point. But I'm going to not be full of shit. And also getting around people, because I've met so many people that I think are so talented. And then they're like, dude, why is this guy doing this and this one doing this? I'm like, if you know stuff, that's part of like, I came here because I'm like, I'm trying to get better at certain things. Why don't I get around people that seem to be better at those things? What is so hard about that? Like, I feel good about myself. I feel really good about myself. But if you know shit I don't know, I want to know that shit because I feel good about myself and I want to do even better. And
well, that's the hack.
Yeah, exactly.
People ask me all the time, how to get rich. Mainly they're saying rich, but they mean successful. Mm-hmm. I say, I'll teach you how to get anything you want. Anything you want. Guaranteed. They're like, you can't guarantee. I guarantee you. Here's what you do. Number 1, figure out what it is that you want. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, that's harder 100%. Than any of them, 100%. Than the other 2. The second one is to figure out how to get it. People go, well, no shit, that's the hard part. No, that's the easy part, because to figure out how to get it, you just find someone who's already got it. You find someone who's already been there, done that. Like you just find the people that have already done it, and then you do what they did. Mm-hmm. Because like action causes like result. So if you really want something in life, figure out what it is, find someone who's already done it or got it, and then do what they did. And 9 times out of 10, because there's always an exception, you're going to get it too. Why? Mm-hmm. Well, dude, you think this person's the magical person in the world? If they can do it, I can do it. Correct. And I believe that, but maybe because I did the 6 steps over and over to where now I believe it. I don't think, oh my God, I can't do what Sean did. I can fucking do what Sean did. Correct. You can do what Sean did. 100%. You're just not doing what Sean did. Mm-hmm. And by the way, he'll tell you what he did.
100%.
And then how many people don't do it once they hear?
The vast majority.
Oh, you mean you worked your ass off?
It's a lot of fucking work.
You mean you sacrificed? You mean you freaking, oh yeah, I don't really want it. Okay,
Amen.
good. At least you're telling the truth.
Being honest with yourself.
Yeah, tell the truth. You don't want it.
Correct.
You know, people always ask me, especially Andy Elliott. You know Andy.
Yep.
He always acts like, you have to be 3% body fat to be successful. No, you don't.
Yeah, I can prove you don't.
Well, me too. So again, it's like, to him, good for you.
Absolutely,
get that
dude.
3%. Obsess, and he is. He thinks he's. Oh, dude, I'm reinventing myself. I got to get in better shape. I'm like, bro, you got a 6-pack. Dude.
Right.
How much better of shape can
Correct.
you be in? But he needs that to win. Well, then all power to him. But you don't need that to win.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, it's not winning.
Mm-hmm.
Because one day, all those rip son of a bitches at 3% are going to die.
100%.
And they're going to freaking miss the fact that they could have actually enjoyed a little bit.
Correct.
But to them, it is enjoyment. So again, who am I to judge?
That's right.
And by the way, the Bible, people say the Bible says, thou shalt not judge. They're cutting it off halfway. They're saying, thou shalt not judge, lest ye be judged. Okay, well, I can judge then, because I don't give a fuck if you judge me or not.
Have at it.
Yeah, I'll judge you.
So, I was in church 2 weeks ago, Journey Church in Florida. Great dude. He works with the Dream Center. And now I've taught you a little bit. I realize how much I always knew you had faith, but also that you have knowledge in there. And we were talking earlier, and I want to ask you something that you said to me was really powerful. But he was talking, and the pastor came on, and I like Pastor Scott a lot. And he just said, hey, man, like, my life changed recently. Like, I had to take a good, deep, dark look at me, and I was waiting for him to lob something up to make us all feel better. Great dude. And he started talking about getting out of, Egypt, the promised land, going through all this, and the journey should have taken 30 days, took 40 years, and I'll be wrong about half of it. But here's what he said. He said, the Lord was so upset because people were grumbling on this journey, like just complaining. He called it venting, right? In today's world, we call it venting, right? And he started talking about it for half an hour. And I just sat there, and all the other things he told me, I was like, God, I shouldn't do that. I've definitely done that. I'm still doing that. I shouldn't do that over here. And I'm listening to him talk. And afterwards, he's a successful business guy. And I started talking to him. I said, man, it's a lot of power in just like because you can't be negative and appreciate. It's hard to be both. Like, I'm appreciative. Well, then you're negative. It's really hard to be both. You have an innate, or you built it, or you see it. When something's not going right in the businesses, because we've talked about some things mutually, and have been involved in some business mutually, and when something wasn't going where you wanted it to, you were always immediately solution focused. Like, you would say, hey, this part sucks. Like, cool, got it. But then it was like, here's what we're going to do. Or, I don't know what I'm going to do this minute, but I'll figure it out. And I always like talking to you because I don't do well at all with people that just complain about the problem over and over and over and over again. You have a very solution focused approach. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay. How do we help people develop? Because everybody has stuff in their life. Everybody has stuff in their business. And I had a guy teach me 15 years ago. He said, you want to grow a team? I said, yeah. He said, don't ever dump your crap downhill. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, all the people on your team, they had hard enough time. Don't lie to them. Don't pretend it's perfect. But they don't need to hear about your bullshit. Like, your life's effed up. Got it. You're an idiot. Got it. Trying to figure out your personal life. Got it. Don't dump that on them. Don't ever dump it on them. If you got to cry, bawl, punch a sign, do what you got to do. How do you help people, or do you become solution focused instead of problem focused?
Well, again, I don't. But if someone were to ask me how to do it, again, I'm solution oriented. So now I'm trying to figure out, how would I do that? It's difficult, but it's definitely doable. And I think you do it through example and leadership and evidence. You know what I mean? They got to be convinced at some point.
Yeah.
I try, though, in the beginning to do things logically. So like when someone says, dude, how do you get over like everybody's judgment? Like, I'd feel stupid, and embarrassed. Well, number one, I realize, and this is the logic, you're not going to make everyone happy. People say, yeah, that's true. You can't make everyone happy. right?
Correct.
Okay, so if you can't make everyone happy, and you agree that that's logical, that's true. Okay, then who are you going to make happy? You have to choose your parents, your wife, your kids, somebody. Most people don't realize that they are an option in that equation. And when you realize it can be you too, well, now it makes all the sense in the world. How about I make me happy? And if you really think about it, no, I love my children and my family so much, I'm going to devote my life to them. Well, then you still make yourself happy. Why? Because if you're not happy, are you really giving them the best version of you?
Correct.
No, you're not. So if you really believe that bullshit, great. Then make yourself happy.
Right.
Why? Because, dude, to give them the best version of you, you have to be happy. You have to stop worrying about other people's opinion and worry about your own. And when you focus on you, you know you like you, bro. You can depend on you. That's the wisest choice you can make is you. But most people don't realize they're even an option. Okay, if I'm not going to make, if I can't make everyone happy, and I got to pick, I'm going to pick my wife.
Dude, I do that. When I'm thinking about to make happy, I'm thinking about my kids. I'm over here, my business, this person, but I don't ever think about me.
Well, because we're taught not to.
Ever. But it feels good to even think about thinking about me.
Yeah, but dude, that's who you should think about.
Correct.
Because if you really care about all those people you claim, dude, you got to think about you first. Just like, people say, on the airplanes, why do they say put your mask on? Well, you put your mask on first and then you help your kids. Why? Because if you don't have your mask, dude, now you can't help your damn kids. Same philosophy. Lions eat first. You ever heard that? King eats first. Okay, everybody else eats last. Well, that's selfish. Again, that's your opinion. My opinion is no, it's smart, because if you want the best possible person, they have to put themselves first, so they are the best version of themselves. And that is how they give you the best they can give you. Sorry, Sean, but I got to worry about me. I'll worry about you second.
Correct.
But I'm going to worry about me. And as soon as it's a relief. Now I don't have to worry about what Sean thinks. Damn, dude, what do I think? And now all of a sudden I start to think and I start to grow. And that's when you start to become, some people call it mature or wise. When in reality, no, it's a realization that, guess what? You can't make everyone happy. So quit trying. Start making yourself happy. Most people think that means, well, piss everyone else off. Quit caring about people. Start being selfish. It doesn't. That's not what it means. That's just how you take it, because you got that scarcity bullshit mindset. And by the way, here's what it boils down to. Every time. Mindset, skill set, habits. You show me somebody with a screwed up mindset, I'll show you somebody that's probably not doing too well.
100%.
If their skill sets, because let's face it, it's possible to run positively in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it sure is.
So your mindset is not all it takes. I've seen people really positive and really freaking optimistic, and they stuck. They were terrible.
Yeah.
Their skill sets weren't there. Good news is they can be developed. So you need mindset, you need skill set, and then you need habits. You can have the best mindset and be the most talented individual on earth, but your habits suck. You're probably not going anywhere. And I always say probably because, dude, there's always an exception. Someone can prove me wrong somehow, some way. But in general, you can have a positive mindset and you can be really talented and still go down the tubes. Why? Because your habits were messed up. So focus on your mindset, focus on your skill set, and focus on your habits. Habits. Like, dude, that's everything. You show me a dude with shitty habits, I'll show you a dude with a shitty life. I guarantee you. I've never seen anybody with bad habits killing the game.
You got me thinking, which is real good. Thank you, by the way. Last thing I want to talk about, if you're okay with sharing it.
Sure.
If not, you'll tell me you're not okay with it. I worked for the department. What's that?
I'm an open book.
I know you are. I worked at the Department of Children and Families for 14 years with abused and neglected children. And my kids had to deal with whatever I was hypersensitive to and whatever I saw, right? Like I knew I wasn't going to beat the living shit out of them. Like I disciplined them, but I know I wasn't going to physically abuse them. I knew I wasn't going to, but there were things I saw at my job that I was like, dude, that could definitely happen to me. And I have to be really hypersensitive to it. And the number one cause of death for children while I worked there on the caseloads we had in my office, do you want to guess what it was?
Drowning.
Literally drowning. Like I would be called out on a Saturday. They had a party. it could be a party with soda and cake and 12 kids, one kid. It happens like that, right? And so my kids, I was so crazy about it. You know what I mean? Because I'd seen it so much. Because when you show up to somebody's home, when that child is being now taken to the hospital, has already been pronounced dead, or you show up at the hospital and have to talk to the parent. I mean, it was an awful thing to go and have to interview a parent who at the end of the day just lost a child. Like no part of that in my job was I like, man, this is like, it sucked. You had an experience with your daughter recently that you shared with me. And that was ridiculously powerful. But what you shared to me about, and I didn't see the video because I haven't, which is awesome, the video you shared with us. Can you talk about that? First of all, I do want everybody, please understand this. I'm not trying to be weird about it. Like, dude, kids, water, it happens. And it happens like that. And kids die. Yeah. Like they die.
And it doesn't make you a bad parent.
It does not make you a bad parent. It's kids die.
It happens. And again, now I would make you think again because, not to me. And again,
please,
we didn't have a fence around our pool because we have doors.
Correct.
And we're going to keep those doors locked.
Correct.
We're not dumbasses.
Correct.
Well, guess what? Shit happens.
Yeah.
And we're not dumbasses and we're great parents, but guess what? Shit happens. So I should have put a fence around it. So again, I mean, at the end of the day, folks, just be aware of the dangers of pools with small children. And again, I mean, I know people that have lost their child and they knew how to swim. So it's like, it's dangerous, period. But anyway, I can talk about that.
Please do.
Well, what happened, you want me to tell you what I told you out there, the whole thing?
Please.
So ultimately, I'm going to Dallas on a keynote. I kiss everybody goodbye. Love you, love you, love you. Can't wait to see you. I'm going alone. A lot of times I bring them with me. So I'm on an airplane. I do not have internet. I can't figure out how I'm getting a FaceTime from my 8-year-old daughter. I look down. She's FaceTiming me. I'm like, that's weird. I answer it. She's bawling, looks scared. I've never seen her look like this. To me, I'm trying to figure out like what the hell's going on just by looking at her because I've never seen her like this. And all she could say through her, bawling is the best word I can come up with, is Chloe was in the pool. Chloe's my 20-month-old. And then the phone died, or the call dropped. And my heart stopped and my stomach dropped. And I'm like, I thought she said Chloe was in the pool. So I'm texting and calling. No signal. I have no internet. I have no connection. And now I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. So about 3 minutes after that, my phone starts ringing. It's my wife now FaceTiming me. And again, it's already weird that I'm even getting the connection. So I answer it. My hands are shaking, by the way. I can't tell you what I was feeling like. It was like weird, but I'm shaking. And so she calls. I slide it over. I'm like, babe, what's up? And I see my wife and she's got her face was white as a ghost. I've never seen her like that either. And her eyes were like almost drooping. Like I've never seen her this way. And she was crying clearly, badly. And she said, Chloe was in the pool. And the call dropped. And so by now I'm thinking, oh my God, this is...
And you're losing it.
Dude, there was literally, because I am optimistic, I didn't freak the hell out, but I was freaking out. 2 of those calls in a row, they weren't laughing. They weren't smiling. They weren't being like, oh my God, I can read people. All I could think about is she's gone. So we land about 20, 30 minutes later. I call my wife, no answer. I'm texting her, what are you doing? Someone call me. Call my daughter, no answer. Call my mother-in-law, no answer. I'm freaking, I'm like, she's gone. I can't even believe it. And by the way, I had a keynote 38 minutes from the second I landed. And so I can't go home right this second. I wasn't flying private. You'd have turned around and went home.
100%.
I would have too, had it been my jet and private, but it was commercial, dude. I was on freaking like Southwest or something. So I land. I start thinking about, should I charter a jet? Should I, try to get home? But I had a keynote 38 minutes from now, and I'm not doing anything until I find out what happens. So I just sit there for a minute, and my wife finally answers the phone, and I can hear a man talking, and I can hear her answering questions. You know, it was like a minute. You know, it might have been 2 minutes. Like obviously she's talking to a freaking medic, and I'm like, babe, and she's like, hold on, and I said, babe, freaked out on her, answer my questions. Because I could hear a baby crying. And I'm like, that sounds like my daughter. Like, she's crying. So I'm like, babe. So she says, what? I said, babe, what happened? She said, I told you Chloe was in the pool. And I said, and, you know, I said, that sounds like her. Isn't that her crying? She said, yeah. I said, so she's alive? She said, yes, but, you know, hold on, because she could still die. She could still drown. It's called dry drowning. It happens where people are under the water, you save them and you think everything's great. Well, they die the next day out of the blue. It's called dry drowning. It happens. So she's still freaking out. I'm incredibly relieved because she's alive. I thought she was gone the whole time. So I said, is she alive? Yes. What is she doing? We're taking her to the hospital. They want to make sure, they want to watch her, and we're going to be there. I said, okay, call me from the hospital. I got to go do my speech. And she said, okay. And so I went and did my speech, which people can't believe. And I can't believe because, like, I was still shaken up. I still believe if people were at that event, they're probably going to, no one knew that was the case, I guess. So they probably said, you know, I thought he was supposed to be good. But anyway, you know, I was shaken, did my speech, flew back home. Everything turned out. She's okay. A lesson I've learned, by the way, from this is perspective, because I was telling somebody about it and my wife's mother started tearing up. Oh, stop talking about this. And my wife's like, you know, stop talking about this. And I said, what talking about? Why would I stop talking about it? And they said, Brad, that was the worst day of our life. And I said, see, there's the difference. That was one of the best days of my life. They're like, what do you mean? Your daughter almost drowned. That's the best day of your life? She didn't.
Correct.
Okay? She didn't drown. We just had her 2-year-old, or her second birthday yesterday, even though it's today. At the end of the day, she didn't drown.
She's here.
Like, that is an unbelievable day. I am fired up about that day. It's one of the best days of my life. Someone says, Brad, what was one of the best days of your life? That will be one of the best days of my life. To them, it's the worst day of their life. What's the difference? Same thing happened to both of us. Why is it their worst? And why is it my best? Perspective. So again, you put somebody in a situation, no matter how bleak that situation looks, change your perspective, and the situation will change. So a lot of people say, Brad, how do I change my life? And, you know, I think that's being a little dramatic. Change your life. Why would you want to change it? You want to change things about it. But at the end of the day, I always tell them, dude, change the way you look at things. And the things that you're looking at will change. I forget who said that, but it's true. You want to change your life quickly, like immediately, overnight, instantly. People say it's not possible. It is possible. All you got to do is shift your perspective. And the way I do it is I base it in gratitude. I realize how grateful I am that she lived. And by the way, I told you, for your listeners, maybe some of you guys aren't very faith-based, but
yeah, listen to this.
Yeah, but now, you know, when she's walking around playing, she'll just sit there and, you know, say the name Yeshua over and over. I mean, not all day. She's not staring at a wall saying Yeshua, Yeshua. But like, she was in the bathtub and she was saying Yeshua, Yeshua, Yeshua. My wife's like, what? And she's like, Yeshua. She's like, what? Yeshua? Because most people know him as Jesus. But if you really understand and know him, his name was Yeshua. His name was never Jesus until now. His name back then was Yeshua or Yeshua. So she's just saying Yeshua, 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 Yeshua. My wife's like, what? Yeshua. She goes, what are you saying? Yeshua. She's like, Yeshua? She's like, yeah. She says, who's that? She says, my friend. She says, what? I saw him. Yeshua. Yeshua, he's your friend? She says, yeah. And again, you can, she's got a little baby accent, but dude, that's what she's saying. Matter of fact,
I've
if you
seen
don't,
the video.
Yeah, go on my Instagram and look for a little baby in the bathtub and watch that video, because you'll see her plain as day. Now, you got some atheists out there leaving comments like, she's saying, I want a shower. She's not saying she wants to shower. Okay, listen closely. It's clear as day.
It is. I've heard it. I listened to it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, to me, that's the thing that gives me the biggest chills, because number one, she shouldn't be here. She was underwater long enough to turn blue, and literally, according to our security camera, right around 60 to 70 seconds. I think 68 seconds is what they counted. I can't hardly hold my breath for 60 seconds. Yep. She's got lungs this big. Ours are this big. So trust me, there's miracle right there. And I know that his name is Yeshua. Mm-hmm. And there's no question, did he walk the earth? The question is he, who he said he was. But there's no question historically, did he exist? Yeah, correct. Everybody knows that. So if you would have met him and you guys sat there and talked and, met each other, you would know his name. And she knows his name now, which again, we're not religious. We don't go to church every Sunday. I don't think I've ever said the name Jesus or Yeshua to her, which is, again, maybe a sign.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, she knows his name, and I believe she met him, and I believe he's the one that kept her going and kept her alive and blessed me with her, because he could have took her real easily. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't make us bad parents. A couple of comments on that post was crazy. Someone's like, where were her parents? Am I the only one that's going to say it? It's like, first of all, dipshit.
Yeah, come on.
It can happen to anybody. It really can. And I'm not blaming my wife at all, because, dude, thanks to her,
amen,
she did get, because she was in the shower. And here's what happened. They were all out swimming in the pool. We've been doing it our whole lives. We have 2 other little girls I've taught how to swim, and we've never had a fence, and it's never been a problem. And I didn't think this one would ever be a problem. Why? Because we're not stupid. We shut the door. We locked the door behind us. Well, somehow, some way, I'm, flying to Dallas, so I wasn't there, because I know for a fact I would have, because, dude, but again, technically, maybe. But they were swimming. They went inside to go take a shower, get out of their bathing suits. And my wife was in the shower with Chloe and went to wash her hair. Well, as soon as she was washing her hair, she has long hair, so I can imagine it's soapy and whatnot. As soon as she started washing her hair, something in her head said, where's Chloe? So she just looked, and Chloe wasn't there. And this has been like, she was there. I'm going to put shampoo. Think about how long that is. She's washing her hair. Doesn't take that long. But something tells her, where's Chloe? So maybe 30 seconds, a minute, it seems. She's not here. So she looks, back door's open. So she obviously runs back there. And sure enough, there she is at the bottom of the pool. Well, I mean, she said she was actually floating right off the bottom, but under the water. Good 2 feet, maybe 3. Blue, motionless, staring up, open mouth.
Oh, God.
Like, dude, I feel bad for her, because she probably has to see that, in her mind. And that's why it's a terrible day for her.
That's right.
So you got to be sensitive to that. But at the end of the day, dude, it's the greatest day. It's one of the best days of my life that day. Mm-hmm. It could have been the worst day, but it wasn't. So again, it doesn't have to be that extreme. People should just realize they want their life to change. Number one, they need to change. Okay. Most people fight that. Most people try to look externally. Like, dude, look internally. What are you thinking? What are you saying? What are you doing? What are your habits? What is your mindset like? Fix that. And then most importantly, change the way you look at things, because then your life instantly changes. Your life is better instantly. And again, that gives you a little momentum right off the bat. And you do it by basing it in gratitude. So when you wake up in the morning, like when I wake up in the morning, I realize there's nothing I can achieve today that's going to be better than what I've already achieved, which is getting another day. Like, think about it.
True.
I tell someone, I say, hey, what if I gave you $1 million? Oh my God, that'd be crazy. How would it make you feel? Oh man, I'd be pumped. I'd be fired up. Man. I say, well, if I gave you $1 million, but you couldn't wake up tomorrow, you were done, you're dead, would you do it? Of course not. Okay, so you realize waking up is worth more than $1 million. They're like, well, of course, if you think about it, it's worth more than 10 million, 100 million. Well, then why don't you act like that way? Why don't you feel the same feelings and emotions?
Correct.
Because you're taking waking up for granted. So I trained my brain to be amazingly grateful for even waking up, and then that changes the perspective for the entire day. I don't have to go to the gym. I get to go to the gym. I get to figure out how to pay bills and get through problems and challenges. And people are like, come on, man. You know, I wish I would die. No, you're just saying that.
Yeah.
Because if I walked into somebody's house that had problems, you know, can't pay their rent, getting a divorce, wife cheated on her, whatever your problems are that you think are so insurmountable, and I put a gun to your head and I'm about to pull that trigger, and you say, obviously, if you value your life at all, you're like, please don't. And then I say, but you got rent to pay, dude. I'll figure that out.
So what? I'll figure it all out.
Yeah, well, your wife cheated on you, bro. You just got fired, dude. I'll find another job. Just let me live. So when you get put in that situation, all of a sudden you're grateful. Just remain grateful. Like, shift your mindset. Like, create the mindset of gratitude, and the perspective will change. And instantly your whole life gets better. From that second forward, you will live a better life, even if you don't make another dollar. You'll be more appreciative of everything. Things get brighter. Food tastes better. You know, and the craziest thing is problems that you see everywhere right now will literally transform into opportunities. And that's why a lot of people miss opportunities, is because opportunities are literally problems and risk, and people are trained to avoid them. I don't want any problems.
Correct.
I don't want any, avoid risk, avoid problems. I don't want any problems. I don't want any problems. Dude, problems are opportunities. So all you're telling the world, the universe, God, whatever you call it, you're saying, I don't want any opportunity.
Correct.
Now, again, common sense will tell you, don't do that.
Amen. Dude, that's a powerful story. First of all, Brad, I appreciate you getting on. This was one of the best things I've been able to be part of. Guys, there's a lot of information for y'all. But here's the problem for people. They start listening, and they start zoning out and tuning out and start thinking about why any things you've talked about today, there was not anything that you talked about today that anybody couldn't go decide to do. It wasn't you need a superior intellectual capacity, you need to jump high, you need to run fast. So you don't want to find Brad, you go anywhere on social media. You can't not find him. He's everywhere. Find his podcast. I love all the stuff you do, and I really appreciate you getting on and punching me in the face. It means a lot to me, brother.
My pleasure, man. As long as you don't punch me in the face.
I am not going to punch you in the face, dude. Guys, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate your time. I'm sure this helps. Make sure you subscribe. Please share, and please check what Brad is doing out. You will love every bit of it. So have a great day, guys.